Right. Okay. You've got to bear with me. I'm just trying to find where you all are. We're in a couple of locations. Rightio. So we're in the creative family group. Now someone said good morning and I can't find where that is. Hello Diana, how are you? I found you. Okay. It is Scrapbox week. Let's move this top here. Oh look, I haven't pressed play. You can't just click on a video for it to play anymore. And Amelia's been on. Let's take the iPad pencil off. Maybe that'll give us a bit more juice on there. Okay. So it's Scrapbox week. And this is everything that was on my desk. Oh, yeah, these were a project I had to finish. Because I finished on Saturday night, I did the alternative for this. So we have this as a kit, the boy kit. This is Noah, beautiful little Noah. And this is for photos of Amelia if I can ever get them. I'm going to have to get them off other people because mine are all gone. So I did the little girl one on the weekend, obviously. Needs photos. But yeah, that's Noah. That's for Amelia. I will have to do two more. The other two. We'll have to do 1997 and the year 2000. Because we have a millennium baby. Rightio. Okay. Hello, Dido's over on YouTube, and Yvonne and Jacqueline in the Creative Family Group. And hello, Marie. Oh, no, I've gone to the wrong. Oh, no. Yvonne and Jacqueline are in the May group. Hello, Diana and Marie in the Creative Family Group. Look, so, first thing I have to do is demo my new ruler that I designed. Now, I designed this a while ago because our machine was meant to arrive in March. Where's Naomi John's ruler? I don't know where hers is. She customised hers. If you watched her video from last night, she customised hers. You can rub some paint into here, acrylic paint, and it will, hello Quentin, it will colour it. So she's put teal in hers. So let's put it down, hold it down fairly firmly. It's 12 inches long. And you tear against it. Oh, and I'm moving it so I can get a rougher edge. So there you go. So these little holes, as dodgy as my Kaiser pokey tool are, they easily fit my dodgy Kaiser pokey tool to poke holes for stitching or for decoration. This line here is an inch from the edge. It's an inch from the edge for lining up. Like if you wanted to line up something to stick, that is an inch from the edge. And it's a little tiny ridge, so if you push hard enough, you can find it on the back because that's engraved in. These half-inch lines are half an inch. The quarter-inch lines are quarter of an inch. The eighth are not quite an eighth. So, yeah, the quarter-inch lines are a quarter inch. The half-inch lines are half an inch. You've got your 1 inch marks up here. These, obviously, these 1-inch lines are not 1 inch long because they've got the numbers engraved into them. There's a hanging hole, so you can hang it in your room, on your tote. You can tie a piece of ribbon to it. You can try a label. It's $19.95, sorry, Mel. You can tie a label to it. If you go to crops a lot, you can put paint into it. I'm trying to see if I can see Naomi's on her desk over there. Can't see it, but you just rub some paint into it and then wipe it off. It's nice and thick. We used to sell some and they were thinner than this. They weren't as wide. They didn't have stitching guides or measurements and that. It was just a tearing ruler, and they used to arrive broken. They would arrive to us broken, and they were made in China. We make this right here in Gladstone. It has got some little sharpish sort of, they're not really sharp actually, but they could be sharp. Like, don't scratch your face with them. Not that you would. What else is there about it? I just like it. But it's something I've wanted to rock for a while. It's got a little bit of flexibility, but it shouldn't break unless you're really malicious with it. But yeah, they're $19.95. They're a little bit of work. Yep, to make a sheet of them is like over 8 hours. We were at work until nearly 9 o'clock on Sunday night making rulers. Yep, they take a long time. They're a very long, drawn-out product to make. And they've taken a lot of hours to, it's taken a lot of hours to design it so it's just right. So it's going to tear, and it's going to do all the things we want it to do, the stitching, and then these lines being just perfect. Hello, Mary. Cool, a little one. Can you, yes, Mel, I'll try and remember. Can someone at work remember to do that as well? But yeah, it is, yeah. So tomorrow's product of the day and today's, but tomorrow's in particular is something that I want for me. It might not be something you want. It's not going to have as many measurements on it as I wanted to put on it. Obviously, it's another tool. Because they were going to take 3.5 hours each to manufacture. And no one wants to pay $250 for a tool either, because it had lots of other things on it. So I have simplified it down. It will be $39.95 tomorrow's tool, but I'm really not worried if no one buys any, because I'm making it for me, because it's what I want tomorrow. So I'm being cryptic. Today's product of the day is, I'm calling them chippy strips. And look, no black. No black. Look at that. They're 1mm wide chipboard. You get, oh, I haven't memorized this yet. You get 4 half-inch pieces. You get 9 1/4-inch pieces, and you get 8 1/8 pieces. These are something I have wanted for so long. Remember, I had been using the dregs of the foam tape roll, and I complained that this peel-off bit here takes so long to decompose, like for an eternity. And I've been wanting a nice and easy alternative so I could do different heights, so you can stick it together with glue or tape. It's still tape. To make 2mm high, which is what current foam tape is, but this is a foam tape replacement. You end up with 3.2 meters when you put it all end to end, or just over 3.2 meters for $4.95, and I called them chippy strips because it means I don't have to cut up foam tape. I can just sit them in a drawer. They're not made in China. They're made right here in Gladstone. They're easy. And there's 21 in a packet. And that one's got a little bit of scorching, but who cares? It's on the back. Let's put them in there. And they come in a packet like this. So this is the packet they come in. There is no photo on them. They are in the online store, but there is no photo right now because I've only just run into work when I did drop off this morning and made a sheet. So the request for this week, it's Scrapbox week. That's why we're on YouTube, the Creative Family group, and in the May group. And we're meant to be in the June group as well. But I haven't made June streamable yet. I haven't made it a streaming group yet. So it's not in June. I'll share it into June. So the request last week for this week was a fancy shaped card. So I've got, let's have a look if there's more white cardstock. And the beauty of using, oh, that's a nice big piece. Oh, no, it's all the same. Of using the same cardstock now is that I know that my scraps for the last 2 months are all the same. Oh, dear. I've got a lot in here. So these are my scraps since the last time we did Scrapbox week. 2 months ago. Right. So it was a fancy shaped card was the request. And Amelia Ann said, why don't you make a triangle card, Mum? Yeah. Triangle card. So not one to walk away. Yeah. I think the strips are a great idea, Mary, because it's going to mean that we're not using as much plastic. They are a whole lot cheaper. And yeah, I just think it's a good idea. So we're going to make a triangle card. Now, Quentin is going to, he's not working this Friday night. No, he's not. So he's going to have to show, you're on notice, Quentin, he has to show how to service your locker chopper. See how mine's dropping just the slightest bit? It's only slight. So he he's going to have to show you how to service your locker chopper. So we're going to make a 5-inch square. I think we'll make a 5-inch square triangle card that's an easel card. So let's cut a 10-inch by 5-inch piece of white. And then, because 5-inch cards are cheaper to post than 6-inch square cards. And then we're going to cut a 5 by 5 square of white. And then we'll cut a 4 3/4 inch by 4 3/4 inch piece of white. And then we'll cut like a, let's start off with a 2-inch by 5-inch piece. A 2-inch by 5-inch piece. So do I need to type this? I might need to type that all in. How about I do that? Put my tub down here. Rightio. So we've got white cardstock. And we've got a 10 inch by 5-inch, a 5-inch by 5-inch, a 4 3/4 inch by 4 3/4 inch, and then we've got a 2-inch by 5-inch. And then I'm going to put that on the screen. There we go. That's on the screen. Let's move our scraps out of the way. Come over here. Okay. So let's take our 10 by 5 and we're going to fold it in half. We're just going to prep it ready. So we're going to fold this in half. And then because we're making an easel, we're going to fold half of it back on itself. So then we're going to fold the top half back on itself to fold it in half. Now, if you're using a thicker cardstock than I am, like I'm using a really nice 300 GSM white, so we end up with this, you might have to score your lines. So we folded it in half, and then we folded half of it, the top half back on itself to fold it in half. So we end up with that business. Okay. Beautiful centering ruler. I'm so happy to have you in my life because my ruler hasn't turned up yet. So this is our 5-inch square. Make sure it's bigger. This is our 5-inch square. Should have made sure my mat was clean. So we're going to find the halfway, and that's going to 2.5 and 2.5. And so we sold some for another Australian brand. They were made in China. We sold some centering rulers. They were in centimeters and they were not accurate at measuring. The measurements were inaccurate. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline put the measurements up as well. There we go. Thanks, Jacqueline. So I'm going to find the halfway mark. So just make sure that the measurement on each side is the same. Like I'm at 2.5 on both sides. So I'm finding the halfway mark and I'm making that mark right out at the edge. So we need that out at the edge. And then we're going to do the same with our 4 3/4 inch piece. So it's 2 3/8. So measurement, lining it up. It might be a little hard for you guys to see my ruler because I've left it white so far. So halfway. My eraser has not boomeranged back. So we're going to cut from top corner down to this point here. But we're going to go with not with where it is like 1/8 of an inch out from the edge. We're going to go with where our mark, our halfway mark, intersects our edge line. So we're going to line that up, and we're going to line it up 50,000 times and cut once. So move that white cardstock from behind. So I've got the contrast there. So we're lining up with where it intersects the edge. Who knew this was going to be a math lesson as well? Hold it really tight and chopper. This is going to be a sort of a very pointy card, isn't it? But that is okay because we need it to fit in a 5-inch square. So that's piece 1. And then piece 2, it is cold here. It is unseasonably cold. It's not winter yet. And it is already too cold for here. I know I said that last year, but it's worse this year. So one side. So this is the 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 inch piece. Let's see if it fits nicely. Let's see. It fits pretty good with that. It's not a 1/4 inch gap, but it's a nice gap. Look at that. A nice even gap all the way around. So then what we're going to do is it'll sit on here like this. So we're going to have to decorate this. And then when it comes up, it'll sit sort of like that. Like that, because we'll have our 2-inch piece. but we need to, this 2-inch piece is the wrong size. It'll be like that. And so we're going to play on the white. That's what we've used, all white cardstock. We're actually going to play on the white. And I know I've got white on white. Oh, jeez, I've used this as well. Let's flip it over. Let's flip it over. Let's try and erase it as much as we can and then flip it over. Rightio. Right. Let's get rid of these. I think I'm pink. So I've got these pink leftovers from my page. Maybe. Pink. Oh, aqua. Oh, look. Oh, I love this floral. Yep. Let's move that up. I did boy stuff last week. Let's do girl stuff this week. Oh, I've got some Easter blessings here. What's that? Oh, glitter card. Oh, that flower power there. Try not to use full sheets. Let's put the full sheet back. A bit more white. Put a lot of that colour. Oh, there's lilac. Let's put a lilac glitter. No, that's full sheet. We're not using full sheets. Maybe. Oh, look. Maybe. Bit of light green. Oh, we're getting low in the tub. That's a hacknut sheet. I just made a book with that recently. I think we're just about... That'll do. So I've left it all together. Usually I separate it, so I have one of cardstock, one of pattern paper, and one of glitter card. But I do put my pattern papers into the scraps, into clip seal bags by collection, eventually. Okay, so we'll need to cut this down. So we need a piece on here. So we need to cover. So when we do this, this is exposed. So we'll need to cover that. Something. This is very exposed, so we'll need to cover it. We need to cover our backstop, and we need to cover that bit there. So let's cull it down. I do like this. And I like this lilac, but we don't have much of it. Oh, it's a pocket. This is very nice. Oh, we're looking like we've got too many colours here now. I'll use that blue. I'll get off this blue. I don't mind that. What do you think? There's a bit bolder pattern, but let's do that. But there's no lightness, is there? That's better. Oh, that's better. Let's get rid of that and that. That one. This one's in it. This one's in it. So I start with more and then I cull it down. That one's in it. Might need more white. I need that one. Use that and that. Maybe a bit of glitter. That's it. There we go. Okay. So this is the, I better use Gore's name, I'm assuming. I do have a happy birthday. So they actually were off my page. Oh, I have some colour cuts that match this pattern paper. I have a pocket. Pocket might be nice. I have a number on my background sheet. What's on blue? Do I have any other words in here? What was that word? Love? Maybe not. I better look at the comments. Hello, Deborah. Hello, Desley. And what did Jacqueline share? I think that's Aurora. I can kind of see it. Must have been I'm watching from under my doona. Too cold here to get up. I don't blame you, Yvonne. It is just so cold. It's just too cold. Truly. Cherish the time spent together. Well, it's kind of the wrong colour. Let's use happy birthday. And then we'll rummage in here for some more flowers and things after. Oh, I've got an acrylic frame. That'll work. And the blue leaf. Oh, wrong blue. Okay. So, I don't know about the pocket. I think the pocket's a bit wrong. So we've got this. What if we covered this inner triangle with some strips of the paper? And then we can bring in a little bit of that glitter. And then we do, so we don't have very much of this piece. Oh, we could cover that there. That kind of fits. So we could cover that there. And we could probably cover our backstop, put some on our backstop, and that might work. And then salvage some little strips to go on here. I'm going to strip there and put some glitter on our strips. And then I might back the number 1 with glitter. And then let's do those things that we know and then go from there. Otherwise, we could end up with something that looks very wild. Okay. So even though I usually don't stick as I go, some things I'm going to stick as I go. So let's neaten this up. This is the middle out of a photo mat because the photo mat was that colour. So this piece here is 5 by 2.5. So we know we need a 2 1/4 inch by 4 3/4. Let's see if we've got a 4 3/4. So we can get a 2 1/4. But let's neaten that up so that when we cut the 2 1/4, the strip we're left with is nice and neat, and we can use that strip on our triangle somewhere. Okay, let's move that. Let's put our triangle pieces there. This is our back mat piece. Let's put it aside. So then this piece is going to go on here. So then our backstop is too wide. It's 5 inches wide. It needs to be 4 3/4. So we need to cut our backstop down to 2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And then let's neaten this piece up. So we need it to be 4 1/2 inches long by 3/4 inch. So let's, as we go, just cut a couple of strips. Cut that in strips as we work our way down to 1 3/4. There we go. So we've got 2 strips to put on our triangle. And then that's 1 3/4 by 4 1/2. That's very busy, isn't it? We might think about turning that over and doing that. Okay, let's stick this piece on here because we know it needs to go there. We need something that's got enough contrast with our white triangle mat to make it stand out. Let's show that. So that piece was 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then when we put our triangle, let's just sit a piece of blue in here. If we were to put that there, and then that, I might trim that down even further. And then this piece goes here. And then the bit with the strips on it, it's going to go on top like that. This backstop might need to be smaller, but that's okay. We're creating on the fly. And so we'll put a little bit of glitter in there. Okay. What's in the back of this? What about we put the hearts? But we've already got hearts, haven't we? Okay. Let's put the pink timber in here. Okay. Oh, it's okay. So let's put pink timber in here. So this piece in here is 5 by 5, and we don't quite have enough of this. No bugger. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, so that's a 5 by 5 piece. So let's get a 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 of our Hessian hearts inches. 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. See, when you're creating like this, it does get rather messy. Where's our backstop? No, it needs to be smaller. Okay, so let's make our backstop. We're going to adjust it again. It's going to be 4.5 inches long. Yep. Just trashing this today. And then our floral to go on top is 4 1/4 inches long. And then from our pink wood paper, let's do a 1.5 inch. I'm going to have the timber going up and down. 1.5 by 4. And then that can sit on there. And then let's cut a couple of little strips of this. Put on our triangle. And then just gonna cut another strip of Hessian that's skinny to go on our triangle. So we'll go barcode. That's better. Okay, let's make our triangle. I'm not sold on this blue at this point in time. Oh, lilac. Oh, bugger. Let's... Do we need it? Let's not. Right. So let's find which one is our smaller triangle. It's this one. And let's get some tape. And all we're going to do is put some tape on the paper on the back of our strips. At least one of our florals we're going to leave blue. So we're just going to tape the back of all those little strips we obtained. That was a bit skinny. I'll tape it on there. Actually, let's leave 2 of our floral strips blue. And I don't know if the tape's going to fit on this one either. Oh, not when you stick it on crooked. I'll have to fix that. And then let's cut let's cut a strip of the glitter straight. So when we get down into the point, we can use some of the scrappy bits. All very quiet. Right. Let's start at the top with a piece of this. I'm going to line it up nicely at the top. Hopefully. We want it lined up nicely so that our strips are straight. Right. And then let's just work out how we're going to do this. They've got to fit. But we don't want to have pink, blue, pink, blue. We want to have it that it's sort of a bit. And then down here, we'll use some of these scrappy edge bits. Okay. Interesting thing is, it will get crooked by the time you get to the bottom. No matter what you do. No matter how you go about it, it will actually have a little bit of a twist in it. It's just a way the world works thing. It's just the way it works. Right. Bit of pink glitter, and we'll try and put some pink glitter down the bottom as well. So we'll have this right over the side here so we can trim it off. I'm working all out while watching. I'm determined to use up some leftovers of a particular question. Collection's proving a bit challenged. Yeah. It can be a bit challenging. Oh, Quentin's still here. Of course he is. I don't know what he's doing at work. Lisa, can you please go through the measurements? The strips are just strips. Yeah. So the little strips are just strips. Probably not going to give you guys measurements for the little strips because I want you to just use little scrappy strips. They're between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch, and that's a barcode. So, yeah. The smallest is this one that's 1/4 of an inch. So they're between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch. I would say just use, you might actually have little strips left over from projects. Right. So we are at this point, right? And now we're going to use these bits over here. So let's just pick this up and then go out a little bit. So then we can, let's put a pink glitter. But you may have, like I say, you may have the bits you need. And then we'll use a little bit of the blue. And then let's cover the point. Let's go to the point. Just, there we go. So these leftover strips, we'll probably make 2 cards out of what we've cut. So remember, this is the smaller triangle that we made from a 4 3/4 inch by 4 3/4 inch bits. I will go back over that backstop when we go to stick it on. I'll go back over its measurements. Rightio. So let's peel the tape off so that these are not gonna, that one's too small to keep. It's not. So my tool for tomorrow, my product today, tomorrow is the last. I'll just go back. Tomorrow is the last day in May, so we're actually going to turn this over and cut this nicely. Yes, my tool for tomorrow I'm going to use tomorrow night because it's actually something that I want. It does create a lot of wastage on the sheet, but that's okay. It's exactly the right base material for another product I'm designing, but it's not going to be, that's not going to be a product you'll get from our online store. It's actually for a different industry. Yeah. So I have designed products for different industries. As well. Machine's got to pay for itself somehow, hasn't it? Takes a lot of strips of chipboard to pay for a machine. Rightio. Let's clean up a little bit at this point in time because we're a little bit on the messy side. Scrapbox week is very messy, isn't it? Rightio. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Are we going to put that on? Are we going to raise that up? I think we are. I think it needs to be raised up. And look, I have just the thing for that. See, I can test it by just sitting a piece in there and going, oh, I like that. I might use 1/4 inch strips. And I'm going to cheat today, and I'm just going to shove some tape on. I know it feels like it kind of defeats the purpose, but I'm just cheating. I'm nearly out of glue still. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you some with tape, some chippy strips with tape, and some with glue. I'm really hoping no one goes and copies this product. I have not seen it anywhere else. I have actually checked. It's on the back of here. I have actually done my due diligence and checked it all out. Don't cut these with your fussy cutting scissors. That's why we have old cruddy scissors or tin scissors. But they do cut quite easily. Look at that. Just trims up nicely. In the center. Probably don't need this much, but look at that. So we're going to stick this on ready. So we can see what it looks like with the nice white border. But we're not going to stick it to the card yet. Sticking this to the card is going to be a little interesting. It's not going to stick the same way we would normally stick an easel card together. we're going to stick it together in a little bit of a different manner. We're going to do the mark and stick. There we go. That. Like that. Rightio. Let's stick our backstop together. So this piece ended up being 4 and 4.5 by 2. So it's 4.5 inches by 2 inches. It's my glue. Where did my glue go? Oh, here it is in here. So it's 4.5 by 2, and then the next piece on it is 4.25 by 1 3/4, and then the next piece is 4 inches by 1.5. So we're going to cut the middle out of this little inner piece, and we could have used it on our other bit, but we're going to cut this middle bit out. I'm going to stick these two together, and then we're going to stick them to our backstop. I'm going to stick that. I think I'm going to put the shorthand down this to the right. I think it looks better down here to the right to me, the short stripe. Right, so then this piece in here, we're going to stick inside. So we're at the point where we're sort of doing a little bit of the assembly, but that's so that we can get to that point where we go and sort of shove it together at the end and embellish it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to stick that in there. Then we're going to get one of these little babies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick two together. Yep. I'm going to stick two together so I get a 2mm height for my backstop. I need a pen. I knew I'd need a pen. This is right at the very end of the bottle. Right, I've got drops left. Okay, so just, yeah, I'm right at the end. Okay, and you know what? I'm going to use this bottle of glue until there is no more left. So I'm just going to stick those two together. Put 1, 2, 3. Put one over there. Oh, this glue is nearly all gone. 1. Oh, you could stick them nice and straight and pretty and, you know, but oh, let's leave that to dry for half a second while we have a look at, let's dig out our number 1. We had a number 1 here. Are we going to put a number 1 on here? So number 1 comes from on here. I think we are. So let's stick our 1 to some glitter card. a bit more glue than that. I'm sticking to glitter card. You have to glue to glitter card. Glitter card is not very good at playing nice with others. I'm going to stick the top and the side with the border that I want. And then I'm going to attempt to cut it to the same border the other way. Does that make sense? Almost. Well, this curve's going to be fun. Not. Oh, no, it's not too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, a bit crooked at the end. There we go. I'm just going to use that strip on the back. Look at that. There you go. I don't think I'm going to use a pocket. I don't think it's a 1-year-old thing. And if we put happy birthday in there. Let's put happy birthday in there. Stick our backstop on. You don't have to use Dimensional Magic. You could stick it down with like your tacky glues, or on this one, which I'm not a fan of. 450, which I can't get. Quick Dry, any of those. This one, I think you meant to store them upside down. Do not know why I'm getting a million messages on. Can you read what I've typed and check it? Right, Maddie? Maddie's just had a bad dream. Listen, you're lost with the measurements. Okay. Yeah, your measurements were good. I'll go back over them in a second. Rightio. Okay. So, remembering that we started with, so what did we start with? We started with, and the measurements, both Jacqueline and I have type measurements for all your base pieces, except your backstop's different. Remember, I've gone through the backstop again, so you've ended up with a 4.5 by 2 inch white piece, a 4 1/4 by 1 3/4 floral piece, and then your timber is 4 inches by 1.5. And then we've got a 10 inch by 5 inch base. This aqua piece here is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. This floral piece here is 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. Our squares that our triangles came from were a 5 by 5 one and a 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 one. And your little strips are variations between like a 1/4 of an inch up to a 1/2 an inch plus 1 barcode at the top. Okay, we've got all these florally bits. That one. I don't think we're going to use the frame, but if you wanted to use the frame, you could put a little, we could have put a picture of the little person, couldn't we? See, you could put a picture of the birthday girl, oh boy, in there. Could definitely put a picture of the little person, but we're not going to. Okay. I think we're just going to use these flowers. There's a bit missing off that one. I've kind of snipped it already. Oh, that's the problem with winter. We're in a jacket. Okay, I liked that. Let's just stick that. See, I've already taken a bit off this. Okay, so we're going to embellish it with some flowers. So we're going to stick a little florally thing here. And a little one up here. Yep, the glue is just about gone. This one's just going to overhang the edge slightly, which we can do. We're not hanging outside the boundary of the whole card. We're only going outside the boundary of the triangle. So is that upright? Before I think I like the idea of having something dimensional and being able to move it around because it's got glue on the back of it. I don't like glue particularly. Okay, so I'm going to line up one of my lines. Sorry, I'm going to put my head in the way. I'm going to line that up with the edge of my ruler, and I know that's straight. And look at the little flower. Stick this little flower here. Keep the little heart. Going to get a little piece of 1/4-inch strip, and I'm going to stick it to the back of my heart. This glue is nearly gone. So this is being streamed in Creative Family Group because it's Scrapbox Week, the May class group, and also on YouTube. So you've got a few options to watch. Rightio. So we can't go, we can actually because our backstop's only for the center. So got our little letter here, but let's get a little bouquet. So it looks like it's tucked in behind some little blue flowers. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to stick these little blue flowers on. Because remember, our backstop's just for the center point of our triangle. I'm going to do a this glue is definitely on its last legs. And then we're going to put a bit here. So I'm going to stick this where I want it to go. So I'm going to put a bit there. And then I'm going to put, and I'm working very far down, and then I'm going to put a little bit, I'm going to put a double row on this leaf so that the leaf then sits up. Whoops. We're getting organized. I don't know if you saw the video in the store. We have been reorganizing in the store because we need to get ready for Paperific at the end of August, and the store needed a zhuzh around. I wanted to give the store a zhuzh up, but so did Naomi. But we needed to actually remove the mesh because our craft show mesh was in use. So it needs to, now we've got more stuff to store because, there we go. We've got more stuff to store because we've got to store this mesh ready for Paperific in August. Let's put a little bit behind here. Put it there. Maybe I could use this bit. It's got tape on it. This is a product I wanted for a while. Really, truly. It's Senior Jumps Day today. Because Amelia's born in 2014, she does Junior Jumps Day, which is like a sports day where it's all the ball games and jumping and discus and all that. She doesn't do javelin, but and then yes, she does Junior Jumps Day and Senior Jumps Day. So I'm going to sit that there. And then let's put some glue behind it. Sorry, I keep going out of frame, I think. I've missed watching your classes. Once my health has been sorted, I'll be back doing your weekly classes. We have missed you too, Mary. I know you're in the groups, in the monthly groups, Will. I think you're in the monthly groups. I'm not sure. And what are we going to put down here? A single flower? Nope. Another one of that same one. Let's put this down there, but let's cut most of the pink off so it just looks like blue flowers. It's another small one. Like that. Okay. Let me show you this. Right. So, to stick this on, see, it's going to stick on like this. That's how it's going to look. And then it's going to look like that. It's going to be a bit of a balancing act, but I'll be right. I'm going to stick it well. So it's got to be stuck really, really, really well. So to stick it, we're going to have to line it up here, exactly where it's going to go, and then hold this and turn it over. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it out just slightly to draw my line. So then when I draw my line, right, let's put it back in place. back in place again. When I turn it over, you can't see the line because I slid it out. So now I'm going to put plenty of tape on it. And yeah, maybe sticking it before we embellished it might have been an idea, but you can go about it however you like when you make it. But it is better if I show you probably the easiest way to construct it. And what makes more sense in a class. Okay, so I'm going to roll the edges back in. Now up in these corners, because they're going to be where people pick at it to see what you've done, to try and, you know, replicate your card. We all have that relative that tries to pull your cards apart to see how they are made. And it's usually not a card maker. Or scrapbooker. Okay, and I'm going to just put a swizzle of glue through here to give me a little bit of slip time. Right, and a little bit more stick time. Okay, just going to put it down where it goes. And then we're just going to place this. So, and I've got it raised up, my fingers under it raised up, because it's helping me to see where I'm at. I didn't fold that very well. See, it's not folded perfectly there. You can see a bit of the back of the card. Should be right. I have never ever seen a card like this. I don't think. Probably is, because I don't think there's such a thing as a new idea. There's so many billions of people on the planet, and so many creative people on the planet. I don't think there is going to be an original idea at this point in time in the history of the earth. Look at that. Look. Okay, so if you're feeling it's a little lopsided, it is because I've got weight on this side. But you can sort of sit it where you want it to be. Like if you sat it like that, it would be lopsided. And then you sort of see the happy birthday in there, in behind. Look at that. Thank you, Di. Thank you, Yvonne, Mary, and Marie. So, goes like that. Closed. So it looks pretty, doesn't it? I think it looks pretty. I think that's pretty. Oh, so you can take screenshots. I'll get it eventually. Oh, there. And then when we bring it up, got that inside. And when we stand it up, it's like that. And you do see the happy birthday inside, which is quite pretty. You could stick scrap paper to this surface and this surface here, to these two. And they would just simply be, so these pieces would be 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. Let's do that. I think they're going to have to be out of this stuff. I do feel they're going to have to be, so what did I say? 4 3/4 by 2 1/4 inches. 1, 2. There we go. Because remembering, as an easel card, the point where your card, oh, I could put another bit in there if I had another bit. The point where your card is going to collapse is this one here. This is the stress point that will eventually bow this section just in here. So let's put those on there. And then we might cut we might have enough of the pink timber to put a piece on the inside. This is the top piece. Tape sticking out there. So interesting fact, the wider the tape, the stronger the stick. It's a physics thing and an engineering thing. Let's see if we've got enough pink timber. It's not going the wrong way. How much of this do we have? We have this Eric, which came out of the middle of our backstop mat. So let's sort of straighten an edge up on this. Right. We've got that edge and that edge there. Right. And then let's straighten that edge there up. Okay, so this is scraps on madness. This is madness. Oh, look, I've probably got a bit there big enough. No, still not big enough. Should be right. Rightio. So we've got these two bits here that we know will make up the width we need. Barely. But if we added a piece of glitter into the mix, we'd get it. Rightio. How big do we want our piece of glitter to be? Not that wide. Let's make our piece of glitter a bit narrower. Let's make our glitter like about 3/8 of an inch wide. So our glitter's about 3/8 of an inch wide. Rightio. And I think we're going to put this at that end, like that, up that end, because we've got the bouquet here, and we'll put these up this end. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some tape. We get like 3 bits. No, probably need 3 bits. And we're going to stick, we only need 2 bits, but we'll keep the other one. Stick some tape there like that. Then we're going to put our glitter card up against there. And then we're going to get our straight edge of our pattern paper and put it up against there. Right. So we've basically made a piece of paper, but that glitter card's not all the way up against. So let's just put it down like that. Peel that up. And move it across. Okay. So we're nice and straight. Ish. So now let's just put this in. And then we're going to straighten this edge here. And then we know we need this to be 2 1/4 inches high. So let's make it 2 1/4 inches high by 4 3/4 inches. Oh, I've got it very close to that. Let's make it 4 3/4 this way. I can go with less floral, but I don't want it cut down the middle of that. Look at that. So we made something out of absolutely nothing. Right. Oh, I found another spot where I could be decorative. So let's stick our piece that we made from nothing down. Look at that. Must have been that bit. There you go. Yep. No one would believe. Yes. No one would believe it is made with scraps. I haven't looked up if about one of your thin strips today's product running down the middle of the triangle back. So support to the point. Well, I was actually thinking that, Yvonne, if I put something down here, I probably need to cover this. Here. I might do that. You could put one of the chippy strips, but the main thing it just needs is a bit of paper. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this heart, and remembering the hearts, which way the hearts would go when you look at the back. So when you look at the back of the triangle in the card like this, you want the hearts to be running that way. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the point, so it'll glue right to the edge, like right to the point. Smooth that out a bit so it's not so globby. Let's just put this in and just tuck it in under. We'll just put it just a little like that. Turn it over. Oh, look, there's the tape. Okay, so I've kind of made a mistake here, but I'm just going to come in. I'm going to say you need to do this before sticking it onto your card. So this is a job for prior to sticking it to your card. Just going to lift that up just a touch. Just a lot. Just going to cut it. The problem is scissors. I'm going to cut it on a bit of an angle. Oh, that's got better. So stick that piece on before. A great idea, Yvonne, to cover that. There. There, that's better. It's got good body. No, yeah. But yes, I would definitely stick that on before you stick the triangle to your card. Beautiful. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I know it's a bit long, but I think it turned out super pretty. I'll probably cover the back, but I'm not going to. I love how that turned out. I think I need to make numbers. I think I need to just cut those numbers just as numbers. But yes, we do have numbers. Plenty of those numbers. Thank you, Desley. So thank you all for coming along. I know it's hard when I'm streaming in 3 places for me to keep an eye and you to watch. I hope I've answered some of your questions about my new ruler, my creative ruler. can't wait to use the stitching guide. Loving that it measures accurately and that I can center things and do inch from the edge. And yeah, like to see my kids steal this one and not bring it back. I probably need to manufacture one for each of the kids. I'm going to pop away my chippy strips, and don't forget today's product of the day is chippy strips, and I think they're pretty cool. I like that I can do different heights and that I can do a lower height as well, like a 1 mil height, and I can do 2 mil by sticking them together. And I'll probably just have some that I've pre-stuck together just sitting there to go. Oh, I forgot the gauze. Oh, damn shame. But yeah, so there we go. Thank you all for coming along. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Mel. I keep going to say Melissa. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. So take care, everyone. Our grandchildren will be arriving soon. Amy will be induced in about 2 weeks. Oh, that is so exciting, Marie. So exciting. We will see you all tomorrow night at 7 if we don't see you beforehand. Keep an eye out for update pictures of what's going on in the shop as we do our refit/reorganize. We do this on a regular basis, and it needed to be done. I'm doing a few things that I've had on the drawing board for a while, changing it up, and the product mix has changed. We have 28 of our own stencils. So our stencils, I don't know if you saw last night's one. I'm just going to grab it. This is last night's stencil. It is Naomi John's hearts. She did draw those hearts. So that is from her, one of her drawings. So we have 28. This is number 28 of these stencils. So in the redesign, they started in one place and they've moved already. So yeah. So we'll see you all tomorrow night. Thank you all. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you later. Bye.